Okay, here we are. And we're going to be working on a tutorial in chapter 29. This is kind of a review from what you should have gone over last quarter or maybe the quarter before that. And first of all, let me say that somebody said that when I'm doing these videos, I sound like I don't want to be here. No, that's not really true. I just do this so early in the morning I'm asleep. So anyway, let's just kind of look at the hair system. Let's jump over to chapter 29, and I wanted to open this character up here to give you the first examples of hair. So if we look at this hair system, hair described in the text is very similar to the particle systems, in which these little hair follicles kind of grow these hair. And so if you think about it, it's basically kind of like an emitter shooting out a constant stream of, I don't know, for the lack of a better term, just particles, okay, but that are all strung together. Excuse me. And so with that, we can go ahead and control some of these with some of these hairs with the parameters given. So again, a lot of this is magic to me. I'm not quite sure how they all did it, but I just, am fortunate enough to be able to use it. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start with this demo. Let's see. Let's take a look at this character, and I'll highlight him here and kind of center him up. Right now, he's just an object right here in my list. And if I go down to the list and I select polygonal object, you can notice here that everything that is highlighted that's been selected has got hair on it. So if I wanted to include maybe a mohawk, I would just go up here and swoop maybe a piece of his hair and then go back up to the level of hair and fur, and all of a sudden I've got hair and fur there. Okay, and let me go ahead and render this. One of the things I wanted to mention as I render this is notice that we rendered the head pretty quick, but then the hair came in later on. And that's kind of something I want to mention. This hair comes in a second pass. So you can render your character out, and then you can render the hair out as a separate pass, which if you have too many hairs defined here in the parameters, you can really bog your machine down. Okay? So just kind of something to remember. Hair is also stylable, so you can actually come in and comb it out. So I'm not going to show any demos on that because really I'm not an expert in styling hair, but let's see. Let me see if I can get to that quickly here. Okay, here's the parameters right here. So if I hit the style hair, wow, I just saw all that hair jump. Okay, kind of looks like one of the Three Stooges now. So what I can do is start affecting some of these parameters and start like combing out some of the hair. You can see this comb brush right here. I'm kind of like tweaking some of the hair. Okay, like I said again, this is more of an advanced thing, so I don't expect you guys to use this on your projects. I mean, you're more than welcome to experiment with it, but for our project, I think we'll just keep it simple. Okay, we can control the hair by using the general parameters here. And in the general parameters, we have hair count, hair segments. You can drive maybe that one up. And you really can't see anything happening there. Oh, I only drove it up 1. Let's drive it up to 15. Oh, I'm sorry, that's hair segments. Yeah, you wouldn't really see too much of that. So I'll just go ahead and drop it back down to 8. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the hair will not render in any other viewport other than perspective and a camera view. So if you're in the top view and you don't see hair, don't be surprised. It's because of the fact that you need to be in a camera or perspective. Now I can set the density. Density set to 100%, and that's pretty much it. Or else I can drive it down. But you cannot go past 100%. Let me try and enter in like 200%. I don't think you're going to be able to yet because it's just 100% is 100%. That's all you can get. Okay, here's your scale. Okay. Length them out here, and then you can set it to random scale, which which is always kind of a good idea to include some randomness, because if you include randomness, it makes the model believable, because all your hair isn't cut exactly even. You know, it's kind of like off, so it kind of varies in length. Let's see, tip thickness, root thickness, you can set that. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that when this just reminded me using the tip and the root thickness is that, you know, your hair doesn't only have to represent hair. It can represent foliage. It can represent grass. It can represent a whole bunch of things. So these items here can be adjusted so that you can replicate, you know, like I said, grass or foliage. Okay, you can control a whole bunch of parameters on the hair with the general parameters, but then you can also work with the materials here under the materials parameter fold out, and you can change. Right now all the colors set to this kind of goldy color, which is okay. Hue variation, you can go ahead and vary some of the hues. Remember I said that go ahead and vary it, that way it mimics nature a little better. Everything does not have just one consistent color. Mutant hair color has these kind of like, so every once in a while you'll have a white hair in there, I guess. And you can drive up the percentage. Here, this little specularity curve is basically telling you there's a high specularity when you look at it at a certain angle, but then it drops off. Okay, so you may want to remember this little graph here when you create a hair system from scratch. Okay, let's see, self shadow 100%. And let's see, there's something I wanted to mention here, and that is, let's say I wanted to make the hair a different color. I think I mentioned this in class. If you have, like, you know, you come up to a person's home and you see there's a little carpet right in front of their doorway, and it's made out of that fuzzy material where you can wipe your feet, and it might say home or might say something on there, welcome, whatever, but it's in different colors. You can emulate that little carpet by creating a short little fur system, but then you can include a map for the color, and all you do is hit that, and you've seen this little window before, so you go get the bitmap and use that for the color. Now I also want to mention, if I go up to here under density, I can use a similar map for the density of the hair. So let's say I had a map of, say, this guy right up here, and the map said ITT Tech. So if I mapped his head and placed this the map that said ITT Tech up there, I would only have hair growing where the letters ITT Tech would be appearing. That's what the map would do for me here for density. So you can control the density of the hair with a map, and all these other parameters. As long as they have the little boxes here, you can control them with a map, or you can control the color. Okay, so you have a lot of flexibility. You can have actually a lot of fun just kind of messing with those. I really kind of encourage you to really look at this, because this in itself is its own specialty, and if you're ever really interested in getting into the business as a hair artist, this is really kind of a place to start. There's another program called Shave and Haircut. That's a specialty hair generator that the professionals use. Okay, so then you have some things like kink parameter. You have multi-strand parameters. I won't get into those because they're kind of self-evident. If your hair system here needs a kink, you can go ahead and use this kink factor in here. Let's see, let me zoom down here. And dynamics. Okay, dynamics is kind of important, because if your hair is going to be driven by wind or by collisions, you're going to need to include those in these boxes. Okay, now you have to have the system in this scene in order to have the dynamics work. Okay, and that's what chapter, I think what is it? The chapter we're supposed to actually be working on is all about. I'll get to that chapter here pretty soon, but just remember that in order to apply the dynamics effect has to be in the scene. Okay, then we just add it. Okay, I went ahead and closed that first mannequin's head out, and I went ahead and opened up the fuzzy dice. Okay, Now, let me back out of here a little bit. Okay. And what I want to do is show you how we can apply the different parameters of, first of all, how to apply the first system. That's the first thing we need to do. So what I want to do is grab one of these die here, go over to the modify list, and I want to go to the world space modifier, and that's where you'll find the hair system. Okay, go up ahead and apply the fur, and you see immediately we have some fur applied to the die. Now look, let's go ahead and render that, and boom, it comes in the second pass. So it's that easy. Now what I want to do is I want to come in here and fix some of these parameters with some of the maps. So I can show you that. Zoom up to the top. Let's see. Let's go density, and I want to go bitmap. Say OK. I want to go to the desktop where my models are, Max tutorial models, and I think it's here. Let me look at the. Okay, which one do I have? I have the 6. Okay, so let's do the 6 and say open. And now only the 6 should, only the areas where the white is clear is where the hair should appear. Did I say that right? Anyway, let's render that. Actually, you really can't tell too much. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Might have to drive the hair count way up so we can see that. Let's go ahead and, yeah, I really can't see it too much. Let's go ahead and select it again. Let me drive this count way up. And then what I want to do is also scale it down. Just make it a little cropped. You can kind of start to see it. You can kind of see that these black areas are cleared out. Hair's not really existing in there. So that's kind of a example, but it's not really a. Okay, here I went ahead and made a plane, and let me go here. Okay, now to the plan view. Now notice I increased the segments here. I just didn't leave it just one polygonal plane. I can actually drive up and make this about 10. Make it 10 the other way. Now the resolution has a lot to do with how much hair comes out of your system. So putting this much resolution into the plane is going to cause me to have a lot of hair, but there's a purpose for my madness here. So there's a method to my madness is the term. Let me go ahead and add a hair system to this. So I want to go here, select it, and let me go to the perspective view. Okay, I want to scale down the hair because it's a little long. Hang on a second. Cut length. Cut that back. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to include a bitmap on the density here. Say OK. And I want to use a tulip logo. Say OK. So now, let's see, render that out. This is a little better example than the dice. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, now let me try and change the color because I wasn't too successful in that the last time. So use a tulip again, and I don't think it's going to change because none of the, I can tell right now that it didn't change. Okay, but anyway, with a density, at least you can control the density. Now there's another thing you can do with hair, and that is you can replace the hair follicles with instance geometry that you created. Like, let's say I have this ball here and I have a little matchstick defined also in the scene. I can replace the hair with a matchstick. I'm going to show you that right now. So here's a character, the matchstick character. I have the matchstick, and it's pretty low resolution matchstick, so there's not a whole lot of geometry in there. And it's been attached to the hair system of this little character here, and you can see that only the top portion of his head here is going to have the hair matchstick Okay, and how you define the hair matchstick is in the hair parameters rollout, but you want to go down to, and I can never find it. It's under instant. It's a little button. Okay, I remember. It's over here under the tools. Let me go ahead and open that up. There you go. Okay. Man, it takes a while for it to open. There it is. It's under the instance node. Okay. I should commit that to memory that it's under tools. What I tend to do is just kind of, I know what I'm looking for. I know it's in this menu, and I just kind of like hunt for it, but never commit to memory where the command is exactly. So I should kind of work on improving my practice there. So what this little button does is I can go ahead and kill the hair system that is instancing the matchstick there. So I'm just going to go ahead and kill it, and we notice that our hairs come back. But then I can say, okay, I want the matchstick back, and then I hit this button, and I go select the matchstick, and now the matchstick is now part of the hair system. Okay, and why they're white, I'm not sure. Why they're not displaying the way they were, but that's fine. When they render out, they'll render out just the way I want them to. So now rather than a hair, you have instances of the match. Now, notice how they're real thin and they don't exactly look like the matchstick. You can come up here to the parameters and kind of mess with the root thickness and those items like we were doing earlier in the project. Okay, so that's under general parameters here, right there. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and this is the end of the first video, and I'm going to probably do a couple more items. I'm going to push into cloth now and the review of the cloth, and then I'll push off into our main chapter, the chapter we're really supposed to be working in.